questionable. Well, I did something wrong, but it's doing more than it was with the DRAM card. So, yeah, I got tired of waiting for parts from DigiKey to build a proper SRAM card, so I built the world's jankiest H8 RAM card on a piece of proto board, and as you can see, I made a mistake somewhere. The intent was to have a RAM card that could use either an AS6C 1008 or 4008. The former being a 128K by 8 SRAM, and this one, the 4008, being a 512K by 8 SRAM, but it'll only use 56K of it, and it uses 74LS10 to do the memread and memwrite decoding. The chip enables always enabled. They're hardwired to VCC and ground respectively for the two on the AS6C 1008. So between write enable and output enable being driven off of memread and memwrite on the H8 bus, I would have thought that would have been sufficient to do the thing. Let me show you the decoding schematic. So this is how I'm doing the decoding. The way the non-org0 H8 works is the first 8K is the ROM and some RAM on the disk H17 disk controller when it's installed. So I'm decoding the high 3 address lines, and when any of those are active and the memory read line is active, then it should give us a low memory read signal to drive the output enable of the RAM chip. And likewise, the final gate is just used as an inverter to invert memrate to negative active low memrate to be compatible with the active low write line on the RAM chip. So I'd have thought that would have worked. So it's in the slot closest to the CPU, and it's kind of working, but not. It's not. It's flaky, and I can't get it out of alter mode here. Some kind of funny business is going on there. Now, let me move this further away from the CPU. So with it further away from the CPU, it hardly works at all. So I'm thinking I should check out the CPU card. We already redid the front panel card, replaced those tantalum capacitors and stuff. If there's a driver or something weak on the CPU card, maybe that could have something to do with it. I mean, there's no driver on the RAM card, but I double-checked my wiring and everything looks correct. And it's pretty suspicious that it doesn't work back there and it does work up here. So I'm starting to wonder if there was something wrong with the CPU card the whole time. It's like something went wrong with it while I was working on that RAM card, and there wasn't actually anything wrong with the card. I mean, other than some bad RAM ICs I found, and some of those chips. There was something wrong. There were some bad chips there around the refresh stuff. But maybe that was all that was wrong with it. Maybe the card didn't actually fail, is what I'm trying to say, like later on. Maybe there was something else afoot the whole time. I want to show you something very strange, too. Hang on a second. Alright, I should have gone back to the bench camera, but too lazy for the moment. Alright, so granted I've got a pretty long ground wire here to the scope, but this is the reset line, set to 2 volts per division, and that's pretty noisy. Alright, and then above the reset line, we should have the address lines. Let's look at some of those if we can do it without shorting anything out and blowing something up. Okay, here, this is A1, I believe. Still on 2 volts per division, and you can see that there's some very funny voltage spike things going on there. Like, it's steppy, you know what I'm saying? It's not like clean highs and clean lows. That's pretty strange, and it's gone all the way almost to 6 volts sometimes, it looks like. And there's a 2, and it's pretty funny looking. A 3, still funny looking, but less so. 4, very funny. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Hey, Mr. Beefy, what are you doing? 12, that's my cat. 13, 14, 15. And then, what else do we have on here? There's memory right. Very funny looking. Memory read is going to be the 4th one up here, I believe. It actually looks normal, aside from a significant amount of ringing, but that may be because of my ground wire being so shitty and long there. The way the power supply in this thing is, I guess the ground kind of floats, and I wanted to be sure that those funny, like, overvoltages and shit that I was seeing on the scope weren't a result of, like, different ground potentials or something like that, but it doesn't seem to be. There's something funny going on here. Let's look at the data lines. Those are going to be the 10th one up and onwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 9. Nothing on it. There's D10. It's going to be D0. Always high. Funny. 1 actually has data on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what is the next one after that? 8th pin? There shouldn't be anything on that pin. Did I count wrong? I bet I counted wrong. Oh, yeah, it starts at 0, so it's going to be the 11th one. Duh. Yeah, so I counted wrong. Okay, so all the data pins are fine. I don't know, man. Yeah, I think I better look at the CPU card. In fact, I think I'll pull the CPU card and check for those funny things. Maybe... Well, no, nothing's going to be driving the address bus other than the CPU card. So that, the source of those funny voltages on the address bus will have to be the CPU card, right? Surely. Here's something fascinating. Obviously the machine's not working. But, I'm going to poke my scope at this pin on this LS240. And I'm going to wiggle it gently. And then I'm going to remove it. I think we have a socket problem here, gentlemen. Touching the CPU, not touching any pins. Pushing on the CPU. Bending the board a little bit. Some kind of funny business going on here. wiggling the board. Not back here. I don't think it's the best connection. Funny business. I don't know, man. Something is janktificated. And that CPU is a little bit warm. Maybe there is something wrong with it. What a peculiar problem.